Greetings and salutations, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. And this is the final episode of the demo. This is the end. The actual game itself comes out tomorrow, and of course we will be playing that. And as sad as I am to let this city go, it was, as everything else, a proof of concept for the most part. And an enjoy to build it, of course, as well. But that's right, the demo cities and settlements and everything that you do does not carry over to the actual game itself. So, unfortunately, this will all be gone. It'll all de-res tomorrow, as for anyone who's fans of the old Tron. I do want to board that ship, though. Alright, well, we successfully took a ship on our own. Now what do we do? Can I capture the ship? Turn to your ship and take the helm to end boarding action. Okay, well, I guess that means I can't do anything else, huh? That's disappointing. Alrighty. Well, wanted to try that out. I mean, I had boarded ships before, but never by myself. Quite like that. Well, that's interesting. Anyway, you can see Onyx's island over there, completely cleared of trees, except for the small cluster above the mine there. And as you can see here, I had started constructing a star fort, and I will not finish it. There's no point in finishing it at this particular juncture. Off stream, me and Onyx had constructed an additional 18 different homes, which we are going to thoroughly go through, and not just for your own amusement, but also for my own memory and log of this demo and everything that was built. It'll be a nice video for me to keep always, and always be able to look back at it and marvel how crude the blocks were at the time and what have you. But the game does come out tomorrow, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm very excited. And it's going to take me quite a long time, I'm sure, to build up, to get to a point where I can build like this, to this scale. But I do look forward to that and everything else that comes with the game. So this is it. This is the final farewell to the demo. And as you can see, we have started at our lighthouse. We've also constructed a house for the lighthouseman down there. It's a nice little home. We'll take a look at that, as well as the other homes, and of course a walkthrough of the town, and one last time, basically. So let's get going. We will not jump like we normally do. We will take the long way down. Try to savor as much as we can of this experimental build. Can I see the ship out there? No? Okay. Maybe here? No. Okay. In any case, this was a fun build. Trying to figure out everything, but now we know what we're doing, so shouldn't be too bad moving forward. Of course, we're going to have better blocks as well. But here's a little home here for the, I guess you'd call him a lighthouseman, a candleman, something along those lines. I don't know exactly for sure. Has a little fireplace here. Not much of a fire. And it's a pretty simple little house. Nothing too spectacular. But it is nice. It's nicer than some of the homes in town, basically. And me and Onyx were trying to test the limits of the game itself, of course, as well. And we could not find a place where there was any kind of build limit of any kind, and we tried. We tried to maximize it as much as we could, and I think this is the first time I've had a build game like this. That's this modern, and we could never reach the build limit. Now, we did reach the build limit in height. That's the only limitation that we actually did reach. And that was when I built this lighthouse. It's about 20 blocks, maybe 24 blocks high. And if you look off in the distance up there, you can see there is a staircase that goes really tall into the sky there. That was me, of course, testing the limit again. and it came to about 24 blocks. Now, the elevation does matter, I've noticed. So, for an example, if I had built this lighthouse here on top of this rock, this precipice here, it still would have been only 24 blocks high, but with the addition of the terrain, would have made it taller. So that is a factor I'm expecting to encounter in the actual game itself, that the terrain matters when it comes to building height. But 24 blocks seems to be the height limit here, which is perfectly fine for me. I'm not too worried about that. And as you can see here, this is our Star Fort here. This was a typical fortification of this particular time period. And for anyone who is from Florida, you will certainly recognize the inspiration for this fort. Yes, and I'm talking about St. Augustine. So if anyone who doesn't know about that city, you can look it up using your intrawebs and take a look at it. It's a remarkable city. This fortification is based off of that fortification. Obviously, clearly it's not finished, and nor will it ever be. But it's a proof of concept of what I do want to do in the future in this game. The logs, of course, are representative of, obviously, cannons, since I don't have cannons to put up here. But, yeah, the fort in St. Augustine, Florida, which is what this is based off of, is the oldest standing structure built by European hands in the United States. Most people don't realize that. And I, of course, being a Floridian myself, have been there quite a bit in my lifetime and seen it up close and personal many times. And I can tell you these little towers that they have on the corners here, this is very accurate, by the way. It really does look just like this when you're actually there, up close and personal. But, yeah, I think the original fort was built around the I've seen 1575, 1576, somewhere around there. So the fortification in St. Augustine, Florida, and it's still in perfect condition. Well, not perfect, but it's still in really good condition. And it appears just the way it did back then. And you can visit that. It's a touristy place now, but it predates the Pilgrims coming over in the Mayflower, and it predates Jamestown. It predates all of that. Back when Florida was the colonization under the Spanish Kingdom in the mid-16th century. So, this was the inspiration for this, and I will be building something like this when the game releases at some point. And of course I'll be swapping out all of this wood here. It should be stone to be historically accurate. In any case, I did map out the towers, and so a future note to myself when I build this, it's there's a 12th block, which is a pinnacle block with 11 blocks on each side flanking out and 4 blocks cutting in for the corners. And the back ends are a little bit smaller, but I haven't decided if I want to do that yet for the actual game build. These towers towards facing land don't need to be nearly as big, and they're not. They're a lot smaller, as you can see, comparatively to the larger towers that are actually facing the shoreline. In any case, let us continue on our way to look at our incredible little city, or port town, that we have derived here. A lot of new little homes since the last time we were here. Well, let's take a look, shall we? A final walkthrough one last time before the end. Fort looks amazing, though. Looks really accurate. And the lighthouse in the distance. Very nice. Very, very nice. And the dodos. We can't forget about the dodos. So, I'm going to walk. Here's a little storage house connected to a little bit of a larger house here on the docks. This is kind of a poor house, a poorer region, if you will. And of course, there's no decorations in any of these homes, but just didn't have time for that. Again, I was really planning on this particular build to go on for another couple of months, to be honest with you. But the game's coming out now, so more the merrier. As far as I'm concerned, I cannot wait. There's our dodos. So here's another little house. Well, there's a smaller one there. It's a single house there. And this is another one where there's a house down here on the bottom floor. And there's a nice little house up here on the top floor with the fireplace and a balcony. Looking at the rich man's home and well as the armory. And you may notice as well that we built some houses on top of the wrecked ship. And we have incorporated that into the build, which is quite nice. Onyx had that idea. He has good ideas from time to time. But we got some more homes here. We got an upstairs and a downstairs to this one, which is nice, with a balcony. Again, nothing too spectacular, but these are just common homes. And there's another one. And this one is a unique little house, even though it's very narrow. But it does have a back porch, as well as a front, and a balcony. Few homes have a back porch and a balcony. Oh, that doesn't have a balcony. It's just an overhang. Well, never mind. Ignore me. I don't even know my own house that I built. And here's a gate. As you can see, we have a defensive wall going around the back of the settlement with little towers here for guards to be in and out of the weather, and of course to question patrons as they come up to the gates requesting entry. So yeah, the wall wraps around. Onyx was keen on getting this wall up and running, and he enjoys that. And this entrance, this gate entrance here, doesn't seem that spectacular, and it may not seem like much, but again, once again, it's based upon the gate entrance of the actual city of St. Augustine, the original one built. And it was about this size. It may have been maybe a half block taller, but that's all it really was to it. It wasn't anything too spectacular. Same for the walls themselves. They are also based off of the same historical city, with a palisade and a ramp on the back, like this. This is how they were, defensive fortifications were really built at this time period. If they had the stone, they would have built it like this. And in St. Augustine, they did. And there's our chapel from the episode before last. But yeah, so this is this part of the town. And as you can see, the back end here. I try to make every house different enough from each other. This one has a double overhang off to the side and the rear. This one has an overhang just in the rear and front. So I try to make them all different. Unique. I mean, there was no grid planning as much at this time. Things were kind of just thrown together. Built not haphazardly, but, you know, still. And I'm hungry. Right, so this is the main drag here. We know this house well, which we'll go into that at some point. And there's some of the homes that we built on top of the ship there. And, of course, the armory. The crazy doctor's house. And here's a nice little view. Looking back at all of the individual homes. Each of them very distinct in their build and personality. Much like the patrons who probably live there, or will live there. There's our ship. And here's some more of the docks. The armory. Looking really neat. And our spiral staircase back there. I thought about tearing it down, but what's the point? Here's another little house with a little bit of an overhang. And we will go into those houses a little bit. Here's another little house here on the docks. It's a pretty poor house, but it does the job. Keeps your head dry. A little upstairs it has with some windows, and I'm stuck. There we go. And it has a little front porch here. Looking up at the homes built all off the ship. Now I do believe in the actual game. A nice little view of the fortification there, protecting the town. I do believe the ship, when you fix it, it disappears. So I don't know. I think that's what I have gathered from the actual game itself, but I'll find out tomorrow, won't we? I don't know if I'm going to be streaming tomorrow or not, but we'll see. There's the old reliable tavern. And another look at some of the houses there. We also have houses over here now as well, on this side of the dock. These homes, again, are poor and, you know, not very fancy. Not very fantastical, but they do the job. With their odd shapes and overhangs, which I do really love. Really is nice. You can go take a look at them. Well, there's some of the back wall fortifications. There's more buildings in the back, which we will get to once we're done with the docks. But here's a nice little duplex. Another little duplex. We have a couple of these. All of them are very different. This one is different because it has a balcony. So we can imagine the women up here on the balcony waving goodbye to their sweethearts and sailors as they go off on their adventures. This house is an interesting one. It's actually 3 separate houses in one. We have the original house here with an upstairs and very small upstairs, as you can see. Not much to that. I don't even think you can fit a bed up here, can you? Well, you probably could. But if you roll out of bed, you'll fall downstairs. And actually, I may have not done that correctly. I think, yeah, I may have messed up a little bit there, but that's okay. And then you have right next door another little tiny house, and this is a tiny, tiny house. It's literally 1 bedroom or 1 room house, so you can imagine the rent is cheap. Then we have another one off to the side here on the upstairs. Another little tiny one. Again, some of these sailors, they don't need much. Right, there's another gate on this side with the wrapping around wall. Now, of course, it's not perfect because obviously people can walk up these stairs and get into the town this way. But that's not the point. The point is that if an enemy, say, large force of soldiers want to try to take the town from this side, they will have to go up this stairs here, avoid the gate, and come in this way. But this is a narrow pass, and it would be One hell of a killing zone, that's for sure. And of course our beloved tavern, where our only patrons seem to be the Doctor, Onyx, and Boar for some reason. Our nice fireplaces. Shut that. And the little side door, which we never really used, but it takes us right out to the side entrance of the fortification, which is nice. And of course up here we have the rooms for rent. That one just has a bed. Oh, this one has a little bit of decoration. And of course a fireplace for the paying customers for upstairs. And I do believe this room I chose for myself to respawn at, since I never really got around to building my own home. Of course I was going to build a castle, but that'll have to wait for the real game, which I'm perfectly okay with. So farewell, tavern. This little house here, I don't know if I showed it off before, but it's blank. There's nothing in it. It's just a storage for the docks. It's where some goods could be stored and whatnot. Here's the general store. Of course, we remember this from our earlier build, where you have an upstairs where the general store owner lives, and downstairs where his actual shop is, which is also not decorated. Then we have our beloved storehouse. I'm quite proud of it. And believe it or not, at one point, not right now, but at one point, all of these containers and sacks and barrels were completely filled to the brim with stone and wood and just a ridiculous amount of materials. But as you can see now, most of the stone and wood is gone. All that's really left is just the fiber. I have a little bit of wood in there. Yeah, but it's mostly just fiber now. I used up all the wood building that fort. Right, so now we come to the part where we have the houses on top of the ship that are built. You can take a look at that. Oh, some stone. Where the hell did that come from? Weird. This is our first little house here, and it is little. There's a little tiny downstairs and a little tiny upstairs. And that's all that house has. With the windows for the upstairs on 2 sides. I think, or is it 3 sides? Does it have a window back here? Oh, it does. Okay. It's got a window in the back, too. Now, the next house is probably the smallest, most pathetic, and poorest house in the entire town. It's barely a room. I mean, barely. But yeah. It has some rigging, though. That's nice. If you need to, I don't know, hang yourself in there. Here's a door leading to another house, which that is a back end. We'll get to that in a moment. Upstairs here is another house. This one is a little bit nicer. That's a pretty nice view of the town. And it has a balcony, which is luxurious, of course, and a place where you can sit and watch people come and go, spit on them if you wish. and get arrested and end up in the armory over there. And we continue up to the master bedroom of this little house, and it is a very small master bedroom. But it has little windows for light and a little bit of a tower-like steeple structure here at the top of the house. Alright, as we move on, we have another little house here. As we move across the what is it, the starboard side of the ship. And as you can see, it's a tiny house. Nothing too spectacular. Then we come to the house on the end, which is probably the largest house here on top of the ship, and the wreck ship quarter, I guess, if you want to call it that. Can we sit in this chair? No, we can't. And it has a nice little room here. And another nice little room here. A lot of windows, which is very, very nice. And it has a balcony, which probably has the best view of the harbor here. And the ship has crashed into the dock again. I gotta add anchors onto these things so they don't move. And upstairs, of course, is a master bedroom, which is spacious. Sort of, kind of. Not too bad. Oh, and there's a window here, too, for some extra light. And finally, we have another entrance here. Another door. Let me close this one here. Which is leading back down the way we came. So it's just another way to get to where you're going. The primary entrance, really. Front door, I guess, not back door. So those are the homes that have been built upon the ship. And it's very interesting and unique, I think. Again, with this build, I was going more for realism than grandiose. Although the fort is pretty grandiose, but it's also very realistic. Right, so we're going to come down to this end here. And we're going to take a look at the next layer, I suppose, of the city or town. Starting, of course, with the chapel and the side entrance, side gatehouse, if you will. And we added another house here as well. Don't know if that was in the last video or not. I can't remember. Another chapel was. Meanwhile, we have Onyx's house here. We can go in here. Now this one, of course, is fully decorated. He's got a fireplace down here and an armor workbench. A little breakfast nook. And as we go upstairs to the main floor, here in the living room, we have a much larger fireplace and some nice decoration. With a little cove that Onyx wanted. And finally, the master bedroom. Wonder what Onyx has got in his chest. Let's take a look, shall we? Oh, a shovel and a rifle. Same thing I would have in my bedroom, too. A gun to kill someone with, and a shovel to bury them with. Makes perfect sense. So that's Onyx's house. It's the really the fancier house that we have here in town. Mayor Onyx. Next, we'll take a look at the chapel. So here we are in the chapel, and there's the church pews. And we didn't really have a pulpit, so I kind of threw this together. It kind of works as a pulpit, I guess. The chandeliers and the upstairs as well. And back here is where we would have the chaplain's little personal quarters. And he's got a nice view of the outdoors there. And if the chaplain ever needed to escape the church out back, he has an escape route here. Or just a place where he can come and go, so he doesn't have to come in through the front of the church. Right, and as you can see, these fortifications are fantastic. Look at those boar. Wonder if we could shoot them from here. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think I got that kind of range. Nah. Was that my last bullet? That was my last bit of gunpowder, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, well. Moving on. And here's the armory. Which we have seen that before. But we'll go up to the top one last time. And look down on this unholy creation. I don't know, it's pretty holy, I guess. I don't know. Can't wait till I have iron tools and I can start breaking those damn rocks that couldn't break before. Look forward to that. I always thought about putting little jail cells in here, but never really got around to it. An incomplete city, essentially. And this little house here, nothing too spectacular. Sizable. I mean, you know, for the time, it's pretty sizable house. Not too bad. There's old Dr. Galen's house. The mad scientist he is.
The body endures more than we think.
You're insane. You're insane, you crazy son of a bitch. And of course we come to the smithy here that we all know and love. Lots of decorations here. Very nice. And here is the back entrance of the fortification here. Onyx really went all out with this. It is really, well, large. It's got a way up here, which is a nice fortification. Good defenses. Don't know about the double doors here. I mean, the enemy could just crawl right in. Wouldn't need to smash down the the gates in that regard. I mean, you got 2 gates here, so they'd have to get through at least one before they can crawl through the windows, I guess. Well, I guess that's it, everybody. Next time we'll be back. It'll be in the actual game itself. Full release tomorrow. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So I can't wait. This has been an excellent demo. And I wanted to thank everybody for watching and tolerating my nonsense. And we will see you in the future in the real Windrose. Take care, everybody.